Wrist Wars, Red Static by Bujairami versus Dior Rouge Trafalgar Esprit. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I applied Bujairami Red Static and Rouge Trafalgar Esprit at 3:28 p.m. I had Bujairami on my right arm and I had Rouge on my left arm. The initial opening is much brighter on Red Static. You are immediately popped in the face with a bright red berry note, but within 3 minutes, that blends into a sweet, creamy rose and berry fragrance that has almost like a soapy finish on the back end of the nose. Rouge opens a lot less bright by comparison and blends a lot faster with less contrast. Your nose opens up quickly with a pepper note to take in the entire fragrance, and you get a beautiful mix of rose and berry and a creamy and sweet accord to tie it all together. To my nose, Rouge smells like the berry and the rose and a little bit of the stem instead of just like the petals and the berry. As they both dry down, the berry and rose stay on top for Red Static, where the sweeter and creamier notes become more balanced and that scent in that scent profile with Rouge Trafalgar. The rose becomes somewhat sharp on my skin for Red Static, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later, because this was actually kind of difficult for me to do. So for the projection, Red Static has a much stronger projection and scent profile to the point that I needed to smell Rouge Trafalgar Esprit first in order to not feel nose blind when comparing the two fragrances. Rouge absolutely sits closer on my skin and does not project as much as Red Static. So Red Static actually projects so much more on my skin than Rouge Trafalgar Esprit that I'm going to have to give a full wear of Rouge Trafalgar by itself just to make sure that the longevity is good enough for me to keep it in my collection. This was so strong. And the sharpness on the rose for my skin, which is, it's just my skin, but the sharpness on the rose for my skin affected my ability to really like smell both of the fragrances as well as I normally could. So with that being said, the longevity is 6+ hours on both. I did have to reapply. I had to put lotion on my Rouge like arm again, and then I had to reapply it. So 6+ hours on both, and I'm gonna have to wear this on its own because Red Static just blasts it out of the park. As far as the blind smell test is concerned, I got to talk to 12 people. 6 of them like Bujairami Red Static more. 6 of them like Rouge Trafalgar Esprit more. And that's kind of crazy to me because one is $40 and one is $500. Of the 12 people, 7 of them thought that they were extremely similar. And then 2 of them experienced the same thing as me, where they felt like they smelled similar, but the rose was just a little bit sharper in Red Static. So as far as these fragrances are concerned, I'm happy to have both in my collection. This is a grail that's been living rent-free in my head for quite some time. So I'm happy to have it in my collection. I'm also really happy to have this in my collection because it's just a sharper rose fragrance. And you know, to have something that is literally a tenth of the cost outperform it projection wise, you know, to the point that I have to wear this by itself to make sure that it's worth keeping in my collection based on the way that it interacts with my skin is pretty crazy. So Bujairami, baby, you keep doing your damn thing. I have 4 more on the way. I'm so impressed by Bujairami. As always, do with this information as you will. I'm Pauly Sense. Follow me if you want more stuff like this. Thanks for hanging out.